I know are true. Yankee fans should not be bitter about Roger Clemens signing with the Astros. Miami writers should not be bitter about the Dan Marino hire. The 4th and 26th play can't be the all-time moment in the bitter history of Philly sports. And I'm Max Kellerman. I mean, come on. No one from the other team was even named.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Max Kellerman.
Welcome back to the show that not only lured Woody Page out of retirement, but will eventually force him right back into it. We're talking Kobe's injury, actual support from Mike Martz, and Maurice Clarett heading back to the Buckeyes, all with our national panel, and here they are. At the Los Angeles Times, oh, you like that one, huh, Bill? It's Bill Plaschke. At the Denver Post, it's Woody Page.
Kelvin Sampson, St. Louis Rams.
Oh, you can't clean it up, Woody. It's too late. Why don't you just get it right today? At the Chicago Sun-Times, it's Jay Mariotti.
Today is my 150th straight show.
Wow.
Oh, mute him for that.
No, he gets points for that, Plaschke. And at the Boston Globe, it is Michael Holley. What do you say, Michael?
Jerry Krause is a Yankee. How do you feel about that?
Oh.
Hey, Michael, you ever going to get those braces taken off? I mean, really.
A couple years.
A man of a couple of years.
Couple years.
When you get to at least get the clear, put them on the inside.
They're
We're the show that scores
That's
the
not
argument.
nice.
And here's how I do it with these joysticks and mute buttons. I give these guys points based on point of view, style, and information. Good answers get 2, great ones 3, and I use the mute button to penalize and direct traffic. We eliminate guys, so a one-on-one showdown determines the winner. Let's make it happen.
It's the first word.
The first words are Dan Marino. As we went on the air yesterday, the Miami Dolphins made their best player ever head of the club's football operations. Marino has no executive experience, and Miami Herald columnist and my good friend Dan Lebitard, among others, writes today that the move is pure PR and doesn't make the Dolphins any better. Guys, what do you think of the Dan Marino hire? Around the Horn of Michael Holley.
Well, I think the New England Patriots have to be very excited about this.
Oh.
Their primary competition, the Miami Dolphins, were supposed to be restructuring. What they wind up doing is bringing confusion into their house. Rick Spielman, a guy Dave Wanstead brought in, is now Dave Wanstead's boss, and Dan Marino is now Spielman's boss and Wanstead's boss, but Spielman has final personnel power. It's very confusing.
It is confusing. It's even confusing to hear you just say it just then. Mariotti.
Look, how many great athletes flop in the front office? Maybe other than Jerry West, I'd say most of them, especially in the NFL, it's usually former scouts and people like that, money people who figure out the salary cap. What does Dan Marino know about any of this, Max? I think Rick Spielman is a good man as the GM. If Marino just stays out of the way, smokes his cigars, entertains, things will be fine. Otherwise, a disaster.
Jay, you haven't learned anything in those 150 straight shows. How tough is it to be a general manager? I totally back this move. He has a chance to finally win a Super Bowl ring. Let me give you Jerry West. Let me talk about hockey. Pierre Lacroix is the most successful general manager in the National Hockey League. He was a player agent. Pat Riley came out of the broadcast booth and became the best coach in the NBA. Let me tell you about Larry Durker, who was a broadcaster after being a player. He became a very successful manager. It happens in all sports. Matt Millen's done it. If he had
Matt Millen!
Woody, Matt
Millen's done a little run.
Matt Millen's done what? He's disgraced the Detroit Lions in the NFL. I'm guessing Wayne Huizenga didn't sit around and say, yeah, Pierre Lacroix can do it, so Dan Marino can do it. Football is an entirely different sport. It's more difficult. The other one, there's more players involved. Plus, let's look at Marino as a person. As a quarterback, remember, his final year, Jimmy Johnson wouldn't let him call an audible his final year. He's not exactly known as the most heady quarterback. Number 2, if you watch him on his TV shows, his co-broadcasters chide him for not doing enough research. And number 3, he's not great with the media. So what's this guy going to do there other than being...
Hey, Woody, respond to him.
I think you've got a brain trust down there. You still got Wanstead. You've got Spielman. You've got Jones in the front office. They'll all work with Marino. Jerry West said that when he took
brain trust, huh? Go ahead, Jay.
Look, maybe Dan Marino can recruit a quarterback because they need a quarterback badly down there. Otherwise, what's
Holly, quick.
I was going to say, he's got to build a team. Building a team and coaching a team is completely different. He has no experience building a team, and he's got to know the college game, not just the pro game, too.
Okay, Woody, what was the Jerry West quote? Then we have to move on.
Jerry West said after hearing about this announcement that when he took over, he didn't know anybody. He didn't know that much about it, but he surrounded himself with good people, and he learned on the job.
Different sport, Woody, different.
Yes, it is a different sport, and we're on to a different sport. Next topic. Roger Clemens' retirement lasted exactly 78 days, and now he's a Houston Astro. In New York, one column's headline in the Post called Clemens a rat. And Yankee legend Whitey Ford said Clemens has tarnished his legacy a little bit by coming back. Guys, should New Yorkers be bitter at Roger Clemens around the horn of Bill Plaschke?
No, of course not. As usual, New Yorkers have their heads in the subways. Number one, this is not about Roger Clemens, it's about Andy Pettitte. If their boy George Steinbrenner didn't allow Andy Pettitte to go to Houston, Roger Clemens wouldn't go to Houston. And number two, every man's got a right to change his mind. Just because he didn't play for the Yankees. Whitey Ford, I heard, trashed Roger Clemens. Whitey Ford's after throwing every first pitch of every playoff game. He's tarnished his image doing
Plaschke,
that.
this rings hollow not only for Yankee fans, but for all of us here. Remember the flashbulbs, the special moment down there? What exactly does that mean when you come back 78 days later? People are getting tired of athletes who retire and then come back. You don't treat that lightly there. And yes, Yankee fans should feel upset about what he just did.
Well, absolutely. And Jay's absolutely right. Look, we got a right to look at this and be skeptical about it. Remember, I can't believe I'm saying this at 33 years old, but there was a time when Sandy Koufax retired and you believed him, and Jim Brown retired and you believed him. Maybe we should be upset at ourselves for handing out our glowing tributes and handing out the rocking chairs. These guys cannot be taken for their words, and they got to be accountable for this. Plaschke, of course, I understand why people are bitter about it.
You guys would love it if Barry Sanders had come out of retirement and gone back and been a running back. You would have loved it if Sandy Koufax had come back. I retired when I was 40. I came back when I was 41. People loved it when I came back. Randy Levine, the president of the New York Yankees, gave his blessing to this move. He said that's the one place they would not have any objection to if he went to Houston.
But Woody, when you retired and unretired, in the early part of the last century, the things were perceived a little bit differently. Plaschke, you wanted to
Michael, just a question. Who do you say you have to be accountable to these things? Who does Roger Clemens have to be accountable to other than his family and himself? Who does he have to be accountable to?
Well, his family is a big part of it. As Jay said, down there in Miami, he has this Hollywood scene where his son says, okay, you guys have had my dad for 20 years. Now it's our turn.
He has to be accountable to himself. He's the one who said, I want to be a Yankee for life. I want to go to the Hall of Fame as a Yankee. What's he talking about? Now he's in Houston. I'm dizzy.
Okay, Woody, go ahead.
You guys are missing the one point. Yes, he retired because of his family. Under the Christmas tree on Christmas Day, he opened a present from his 4 sons. It was a Houston Astros cap. They begged their father to go back and play in front of them at home in Houston. Indicate.
They just wanted him to play in the backyard. That cap was for the backyard. He didn't want to return.
Plaschke, last word.
And he's also going to be like Nolan Ryan. He's going to see his kids pitch and fly to and from their games and not be on the road with the team the whole time.
No, look, I think it's clearly a move for his family. Woody, I agree with you. It's for his kids. How could he turn it down? One of his best friends, certainly his best friend in baseball, Andy Pettitte, is pitching on the team. They have a legitimate shot, especially with Clemens, to go to the World Series. His kids can watch him. His friends can watch him at home. The one thing Yankees fans have a right to be upset about is because of the way it shook down, they never tendered Clemens a contract, and therefore they don't get draft compensation. That's a legitimate issue. But otherwise, God bless them. Buy or sells next.
Coming up, it takes a lot to warm the cockles of Philly fans' hearts. Is Donovan McNabb's 4th and 26 the greatest moment in cheesesteak history? Plus, Kobe Bryant's hurt. Should Phil Jackson wait a while to bring number 8 back around? Oh, ouch, man, that hurt.
Around the Horn, brought to you by Samuel Adams. When you are ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams. Always a good decision.
Buy or sell?
Buy or sell time, let's keep it moving. First topic, the best team in the NBA might be the Lakers injured list. Kobe Bryant sprained his surgically repaired right shoulder last night against the Cavs and missed the second half of the Lakers' win. An MRI was scheduled for today. Meanwhile, Karl Malone will reportedly miss 2 to 3 more weeks with his sprained knee. Buy or sell the Lakers without Kobe Bryant, Plaschke?
I'm selling this, and it's not about now. It's about next May. The Lakers learned last year they have to get in the top 4 seeds. They're an old team. They cannot go on the road in the playoffs. They need Kobe to get him to that level.
Woody?
I watched the game last night. I saw the injury, and without Kobe Bryant and the others, this team sucks. When you talk about Fisher and George and that guy,
Medvedenko.
Thank you.
Medvedenko played well last night, I thought.
Yes, he did.
I'm telling you, as it is, this team doesn't figure it out the chemistry, and they don't play any defense. Now they're going to lose Kobe. He's shooting with his left hand. Max, San Antonio, Minnesota, Sacramento.
Right.
These are teams with not a lot of flaws. I'm selling.
Tough conference. Holly.
And these are teams that can't touch the Lakers. I'm buying them. You said without Kobe Bryant. That means if Karl Malone returns and you still got Peyton, you still got Shaq, they were planning to play without Kobe anyway because of the trial. Now it's because of the injury.
Yeah, it's amazing, though. Any team that loses 3 starters, let alone Shaq, Kobe, and Malone, no, you can't compete. Without Kobe Bryant, this team is in real trouble. Next topic.
Thank
4th
God.
and 26. Eagles fans are still going nuts over Donovan McNabb's season-saving conversion to Freddie Mitchell in Sunday's OT win against the Packers. In fact, Philly Inquirer columnist Bill Lyon says the play has taken a place on the honor roll of great moments in Philadelphia sports history, comparing it to Tug McGraw's strikeout that ended the 1980 World Series. So buy or sell Sunday's 4th and 26 play as one of the greatest moments in Philadelphia sports history, Woody.
I got to sell it. It wasn't even the best play in that game. How about the balloon that Brett Favre threw up that was intercepted? That determined the game. You guys got to go back to 67. Double overtime. Will Chamberlain against the Warriors. That was a lot better play.
Yeah, Favre's throw was a huge event, but it wasn't a great play, Woody. And he means 1867. Jay.
No, Bill Lyon's lying here. I've got to sell this thing here. Until they seal the deal and win a championship, 4th and 26 doesn't mean a thing. How about Moses Malone, 1983. The last championship in a major way won in Philadelphia.
But not a single event, Jay. Michael.
Gotta buy it. Bill Lyon's an excellent writer. 1983 also. Dr. J dunking over Michael Cooper. And I'm telling you, if you go back to that dunk and you don't get excited, you have no pulse, you have no heart. It was excellent.
You are right. Bill Plaschke.
No, I'm selling this. Is everybody forgetting Villanova beating Georgetown in the greatest finals ever? I think that the ball was thrown behind Mitchell. He was open because the Packers' defense was bad. It was a lucky play, not a great play.
Next topic. Kansas City Star columnist Jason Whitlock today grades the Chiefs on their 2003 season. In giving Dick Vermeil a C, Whitlock writes, one decision will haunt Vermeil throughout the offseason, retaining defensive coordinator Greg Robinson. Vermeil's gigantic mistake overshadows much of the good work he accomplished in 2003. This afternoon, Robinson resigned his D coordinator post. Buy or sell the Chiefs, essentially dumping Greg Robinson.
I'm buying. An offense is a terrible thing. The Chiefs had the best offense in the NFL. They had half a football team, though. Vermeil should have dumped this guy last offseason. Maybe they'd be going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, Holly?
I'm going to sell this. I know Greg Robinson is a gambler as a defensive coordinator, but his predecessor is going to find out he actually has a tough act to follow. This is a bad defense. It's impossible to coordinate.
Of course, by predecessor, you mean
successor.
Little too late.
All right, Woody.
Plaschke.
No, I'm going to buy this. You have to. Greg Robinson is a great guy and a great coach, but you have to answer to the fans somehow, and the defense was the only reason the Chiefs aren't going to the Super Bowl right now.
Yep. Woody?
I'm so happy that Michael Holly's training at my feet there, but I've got to buy it also.
Training in your feet.
Go ahead. Woody, I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
Greg Robinson is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't be surprised if he moves in with me during the offseason. Somebody else will hire him, though. He was the mastermind of 2 defensive teams that won the Super Bowl in Denver. The guy has done a good job. They were 9-0 with him as a defensive coordinator.
Okay, all right. Woody's making a little sense there, guys. A little. Next topic. The defending national champion Syracuse Orangemen, behind a career-high 18 points from center Craig Forth, blasted Missouri 82-68 last night in Columbia. Hakeem Warwick added 21 and 12 boards for the Orange, who have now won 12 straight after losing their opener. Buy or sell Syracuse's chances of repeating as national champs, Holly?
Well, first of all, you should give me points for correcting myself on successor, and I even know how to spell it. Okay. I'm going to sell this for Syracuse because they play in the same conference as UConn. And we were just asking yesterday if UConn is the best team in college basketball.
That's true.
And they are with Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon. They got the best coach in the country in Jim Calhoun.
Flash.
I'm going to sell this. This was the first game Syracuse has played outside the state of New York. They've lost 1 game to Charlotte. I want to see what they do on February 2nd against UConn. That's a big game. Syracuse is not even a top 10 team.
Yes, they are. Stop, Woody.
Selling it for one reason. Carmelo Anthony is gone.
Yep.
They can't win the national championship without him.
Okay, Jay?
No, I'm selling it. We saw McNamara and Edelin, these guys in the championship game, and they were terrific, but not this year, not with our Carmelo. And by the way, is this a question that was probably proposed by a producer of ours behind the scenes?
What? Max, there are no producers behind the scenes here. Jay, what you see is what you get. Come on,
Don't do it to me, Max. Don't do it to me.
Holly, it's okay. You can probably get us in on an AM station if you tune your braces carefully enough. You can hear what's going on. You're out here, Holly. That's the way it goes. Come on, you know the rules. Crying out loud. Craig Forth, by the way, when he's not playing at home, plays much better. Those hometown fans don't get on him not to shoot whenever he touches the ball. He's a decent setter. Out of bounds is next.
You're incorrigible. Coming up, can the Mound City Rams bounce back in the wake of go for the tie gate? Experts disagree. Also, Maurice Clarett may want back in at the Ohio State University. But should the Buckeyes welcome him back around to the hole? How are we going to talk about this without Holly, Max? It's around the horn, where after 2 rounds, here's how they stand. Jay Mariotti has 27. Woody Page has 29. Bill Plaschke has 26. And Mr. Michael Holley is considering a return to the Ohio State University. Right now, right out of bounds!
I can see his braces through the freeze frame. It's out of bounds, where it's all inbound.
Will you stop it?
First topic. Maurice Clarett, the gift that keeps on giving to Sports Talk Television. Though Clarett still plans to try to enter the NFL draft, reports from Columbus say that Ohio State coach Jim Tressel met with Clarett after the Buckeyes lost to Michigan, and Clarett's representatives say that Clarett is considering a return to the team. Guys, should the Ohio State University allow Clarett back? I wish I had Michael Holley here to answer this question, but we'll go to Woody.
My young friend, Michael Holley, who I tutor, he says that he should be allowed back. So, of course, I've got to go along with him.
Okay.
He's a young man. If he wants to continue his education and play for the school, they only won a national championship with him in the backfield. Why not again?
Jay?
Woody, you know, you can run Ohio State. I'm not going to and let Maurice Clarett back. He'd be a distraction. All of this baggage, the cover-up off the field, the academic fiasco. He embarrassed this university, and you're going to just welcome him back. Look, the kid should go play football somewhere else and go to school somewhere else, but not my Ohio State University.
Once again, Jay, you are so far from real life, it's unbelievable. Well, one of our daughters was at a school, a grade school, transferred schools, then wanted to come back to the grade school because it didn't work out, and they accepted her. And I said, why? They said, because that's what good schools do. We take children, we help them grow, we understand that they make mistakes, that parents make mistakes, that they have to make decisions. This is part of the growth process.
They're doing this for one reason. They need a running back, so they're going to get off your moral stance, Plaschke. They need a guy to carry the football. That's why they're doing
Where's your moral?
Okay, but
where's your moral stance?
Yeah, but Jay,
do you ever have a moral stance on anything, Jay?
He's taking one now. He's saying, but Jay, if they need a guy to carry the football, he's a guy who carries the football really well, and it's not like he's turned.
I thought he was going to the NFL. What happened to the NFL chase?
He changed his mind. He can't change his mind. Next topic. The NBA All-Star vote count is out, and among the surprises are Vince Carter's huge lead overall, Alonzo Mourning's second place standing among Eastern Conference centers, and the fact that never too popular and just off the injured list, Scottie friggin' Pippen is fourth among Eastern forwards. Guys, should fans be deciding who plays in the NBA All-Star game? Bill Plaschke?
Absolutely they should. My two favorite All-Star memories, Cal Ripken Jr. in Seattle, didn't belong there, shouldn't have been there, was voted there, hit the game-winning home run. How about Magic Johnson playing for the All-Star team? After he retired, he came that year and played because the fans wanted him back. It's for the fans. It's an exhibition.
Maybe Magic shouldn't have been allowed back if he changed his mind. Oh, Magic retired. How can he change his mind?
Yeah, that's right, Jay. How about that, Jay?
Yeah, well, nobody has any emotional attachment to Scottie Pippen. He's played 12 games this year for a bad basketball team. Ron Artest would be left out. Carlos Boozer would be left out.
Ooh,
fans, Peja in Sacramento is having a hell of a year. He's way down the list. If I had more respect for the fans, what they knew, this guy would be starting.
He doesn't respect the fans. That's all there is to it. Woody?
I know this is difficult for you to believe, Mariotti, but these games are not played for you, and it's not played for you, Max, jerk and knee-jerk. This game is for the fans, and they should be allowed to pick the starters. I would love to see Mourning in uniform introduced as a starter. What's wrong with that?
All right. Yeah, what's wrong with it, Jay? Tell me what's wrong with it.
Scottie Pippen doesn't deserve to be anywhere near an all-star.
That's true.
Shut up, Mariotti. Get out of here.
No, he's right. In fact, Plaschke, do you have anything to say that can save you?
Yes, 10 years from now, fans are going to remember seeing Scottie Pippen. They're not going to remember Carlos Boozer didn't make the team.
Now,
that's ridiculous.
Sorry, Bill. Sorry. I know. I don't understand it either. Mariotti's now gotten by Plaschke in 2 consecutive games. Something's going on. I have to view my scoring. The disembodied voice is going to take me to task for this.
Right now.
Instant replay. Showdown's next.
Coming up, is Demi Moore really gonna marry a guy who was in diapers when she first wore a prom gown? The Horn! See, she's old and he's young.
Showdown time, but first, disembodied voice.
Yes, Max.
How's retirement treating you?
Yeah, less of you, more Jerry Springer. It's been wonderful. New Nebraska head coach Bill Callahan fired almost all of the existing coaching staff at the school, including Bo Pelini, who coached him to a bowl game win.
First topic. The Rams had their final team meeting of the season on Monday, with most giving Coach Mike Martz votes of confidence. Meanwhile, Dolphins head coach Dave Wannstedt will have a new set of eyes over his shoulder with the hiring of Dan Marino. Which coach would you rather have in 2004? Martz or Wannstedt? 15 seconds each, Mary.
Well, first of all, a pronunciation guy for Woody, it's Wannstedt, Woody Wannstedt. And he would lose any argument these days, even to Mike Martz, even after that blunder on Saturday. Martz, despite the situation the other day, has won 43 games since 2000. He gambles for the right reasons sometimes.
You're
That's
just
more than Wannstedt
better
does.
because you had Wannstedt in Chicago.
Yeah.
The guy has coached for 4 years in Miami. They've had winning records. They've been in the playoffs. He is going to get a lot of help now. He's put together a good team, and I don't believe that.
You don't believe any of that. He hasn't made the playoffs the last 2 years.
That's true. You don't believe it, Woody. Although it was a good argument. Next topic. Roger Clemens and Andy Pettitte appeared Monday in pinstripes. The wrong friggin' pinstripes. Meanwhile, the Yankees picked up Kevin Brown from the Dodgers and Javier Vasquez from the Expos. Which tandem will fare better in 2004, Clemens Pettitte or Brown Vasquez? 15 seconds each. Woody.
I do believe in this. I know it's going to be Pettitte and Clemens. Clemens signed a 1-year deal. He and Pettitte are home. They're great friends. They're going to combine. This is going to be like Schelling and Johnson when they won the World Series. I think you've got to make the Astros a favorite.
Not so fast. They have to get used to the National League. They got to get used to that left field wall in Houston, that stupid choo-choo train on top. You know, nobody's talking about Vasquez. This kid is terrific. He just signed a $45 million deal. He's relaxed. He had a 1.11 whip last year.
At this point, Brown and Vasquez are a little better than Pettitte and Clemens anyway. Plus, Pettitte and Clemens are pitching in a real hitter's park. Jay, you win. 15 seconds of yours. It's a sweep.
You know, everybody likes to say that March is the best time of the year in sports. Well, it used to be, because college basketball is diluted. It's not the same. October creates great drama, but for me, Kellerman, the best time of the year now is January. The NFL playoffs, 3 overtime games. It's a thrill a minute. I'm having a blast right now.
Yeah, but February's no good, Jay. That's going to do it, folks. We're on a 23-and-a-half-hour break. See you Wednesday around the Horn.
I'm glad Jay's having fun. That's the weakest closing.
Around the Horn is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For up-to-the-minute sports information, log on to ESPN.com.
Man to man? Man to man. Man to junior high schooler. What do you do, man to man?
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, there are only 3 NFL games left in the season, which makes me sad. Give me something to look forward to.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I don't know about you, but me and Bino Cook, we're taking a cruise around the Caribbean. You should see Bino in a Speedo.
Ah!
Ladies are like bees to honey.
Ugh! Frightening visual. Don't ever give that visual again. That's bad imagery, big boy.
It's an AARP cruise. Hot babe.
I'm not old enough.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Yankee fans are agitated, Wayne Huizenga irritated, and a Chiefs coach gets terminated. My ID is laminated.
Is this old man rapping?
We begin today with Vox Populi, the voice of the people. Now, many of you dopes have emailed us about our apparent lack of respect for the Carolina Panthers. You cite this because inadvertently, in an entire 30-minute show yesterday, we neglected to technically name a little team I like to call the Carolina Panthers. Statboy brought this to our attention, and he has subsequently been fired. Wilbon, tell the truth. Are the Carolina Panthers the worst of the 4 teams remaining in the NFL playoffs?
Well, I've got the Carolina Panthers 4th of the 4 teams remaining.
Then, technically, they would be the worst.
Look, yesterday was a time to dissect and assign blame to the St. Louis Rams.
Your boy,
That's what
Mike
yesterday was
Martz.
about. We got the whole week to talk about the Carolina Panthers, and we'll commence doing that now. The Carolina Panthers can beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. Yes, I don't have them beating them. I've got, if I had to rank them, Patriots, Eagles, Indy, and Panthers in that order. But the Panthers, of course, they can win in Philly.
Here's what Carolina's got, and I'm not picking them to win. Here's what they got. Right now, DeLome to Smith looks like Montana to Rice. Every time they need a touchdown, they get a touchdown. They have been in 7 games decided by 3 or fewer points, and they're 7-0 in those. So they look like a team that is clutch. If the game is close, they got a real chance. DeLome, who nobody knew at the beginning of the season, brings you back, puts you in a position to win, gets you on the board.
It's just like you to notice the offense, which is number 16 in the league, while the defense is what keeps them close. Number 8 in the league, the best front 4 in the league. Mr. Offense, stars, quarterback. Do you even know who's in the front 4?
Yes, I do.
Can you name a second guy that's not Peppers?
Julius Peppers and Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, I know you couldn't do it. Tony, the L.A. Lakers cannot stay out of the news.
And Sergeant Peppers.
Cavaliers guard Kedrick Brown landed on Kobe Bryant's surgically repaired right shoulder last night.
Oh, look at that.
Boy. And now we've got more melodrama in Lala. An MRI has just revealed enough damage that Bryant is going to be out.
He took a 2 to 3
weeks. Do you hear me?
Lefty, he took
2 to
that
3 weeks. He won't be shooting any right now. Tony, this is 3 of the big 4 that have been out for significant time. Is it bad karma what's happened to the Lakers now?
I mean, I know you think that because of everything that's happened to them, including the arrest of Kobe Bryant, that you think it's bad karma. What it is bad shooting when you take a 3 with your left hand.
Come on,
he should not have been out on the floor. He would run back holding his right shoulder.
Kobe's a tough kid and doesn't want anybody, opponent, to think they can just run him off the floor. I understand why he came back.
Asking me a question? Because I'll answer the question.
What?
Okay? It's 2 to 3 weeks in the middle of the season. Yeah. In some ways, this is good for the Lakers, actually in this way. They get to see if their bench players in meaningful minutes can perform. Because in the playoffs, they're going to need them to perform. Okay. This is about, maybe it's about
Walton and Cook.
Maybe it's about that they won't finish first or second, and they'll have to go on the road. They have won championships on the road. But when they're all healthy, they've done it before. When they're all healthy, they can win. I think when Shaq gets back, he's going to feel good that Kobe's not playing and try to win games
every night.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think he won a lot of games.
He wants to win without Kobe.
It's hard to win when you don't have your people together until the All-Star break.
It's an 82-game season. 82 games, and don't worry about it.
All right.
At a press conference yesterday announcing the appointment of Dan Marino as Senior Vice President and Big Cheese of the Miami Dolphins, Wayne Huizenga went nuts when someone wondered aloud if Marino would essentially be a figurehead. Let's roll that tape.
I kind of take issue with that question. I mean, just stop and think of what a foolish question that was. Here's a guy that's on CBS television, HBO. They pay him $4 jillion a year to work there. He's not going to quit a job like that to come here for somebody to say, is it just a figurehead job for you? This is serious business we're here. We're trying to win. Whether you think it's serious or not, it's serious to us. This is not a figurehead position, and I really don't like even suggesting that it is.
Wilbon, is it not legitimate to ask the question whether Marino would be a figurehead?
I think it's a sort of a frivolous question. You expect the guy to stand up there and say yes? No, I mean, it's one of those things when you know the answer. Why I said you know the answer. Here's the other thing. He didn't go nuts. Bob Knight saying that's bad journalism.
Right, no,
that's going nuts.
He didn't go nuts.
Okay?
I was writing the lead here to be provocative.
I thought his answer was the right answer.
Okay.
You defend the guy you just hired.
But let's get to the heart of this.
In Miami.
We have seen now one other person, Matt Millen, go essentially from not doing anything but be in the booth to run a team, and his record has been terrible.
That's right.
Now, with Dan Marino, was there anything that suggested to you that Dan Marino was even in the mix for this?
No, but
do you think he is the right choice?
I think they brought him back. He's the right choice in this way. They wanted to keep Mr. Dolphin with the Dolphins. I understand that. Now, I wish they'd just say it. But here's the thing, Tony.
So then doesn't it look like a PR move?
He's not the GM.
I understand.
Oh, it is a
That's
PR.
what I'm saying.
That's not the same thing as figurehead.
Well,
it is certainly going to enhance public relations in a place where they haven't made the playoffs. They haven't gone nearly as far as people thought they would.
Do you think he will fire Dave Wanstead?
Not the GM.
Do you think he will fire Dave Wanstead? Ever?
He's not a knee-jerk guy. Ever? What does that mean?
Ever. It means ever. Will he ever fire him?
Not after 3 games. Two Bay Area newspapers, Northern California newspapers, are reporting that Al Davis is interested in hiring Rick Neuheisel to coach the Raiders. It's not like Al needs to ask permission, since Neuheisel's most recent gig was coaching quarterbacks of a high school team in suburban Seattle. Neuheisel has a good record as a college head coach, but it seems that Colorado and Washington have never won a conference championship outright. Tony, seems to me Neuheisel's genius is really in self-promotion. You want to make the case for him?
No, I don't want to make a case for him. I think he's a pretty good coach. He's 5-2 in bowl games. I think he is a good coach. I thought he was unjustly fired from his last position because of this thing with the NCAA lottery thing that he entered. But Al Davis, Al Davis hires John Madden as a very young man. John Gruden as a very young man. First guy to hire a black coach, head coach in the NFL, Archell. Hires Callahan. Nobody had ever heard of Callahan before. Neuheisel seems to fit in this mold. He's 42 but very young. Look,
somebody who's beholden to Al. Yeah, who will do whatever Al tells him and be grateful to Al.
A lot of guys won't work for Al because they think it's 2 years and out, and plus they think Al is crazy. Let's be fair. We love Al.
You said we'd apprentice for Al.
We would. We're in the journalism business.
Al just comes up with these guys. Neuheisel, I mean, this is like needle in a haystack. Maybe he's a good coach.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Who knows?
It doesn't really matter because guys there get 2 years and out.
That's true.
The reverberations of Roger Clemens going to the Astros are being felt in New York City. Yes, my hometown. We'll find it is predictable that the New York Post would call Clemens a traitor, but let me ask you something. Do you see nothing more than coincidence that Andy Pettitte and Roger Clemens share the same agents and now will share the same clubhouse again, but this time in Houston? I know you hate Yankee fans, but don't you think Yankee fans have something to be upset about here?
No. Yankee fans should shut up. Because their owner, your boy, George Steinbrenner, does this all the time. Didn't another one of your boys, David Wells, have a handshake agreement with whoever was running the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Blanchard.
And then who came in and paid more money to get him to leave that situation? The Yankees do this all the time. They look at a situation where they can take advantage of a guy and a team with money, and they buy him out
think it's
from under the other
poetry
team.
And it's okay?
It's fine.
Right, okay.
By the way, if they did do that, if Roger Clemens did say to Andy Pettitte, by the way, you know what? If you come back, maybe I'll come back. What's wrong with that?
No, I never thought he was going to quit.
I know you didn't.
Because he filed for free agency.
Coming out of New York,
I'm not sure
from the New York Post.
Richard Justice said a very interesting thing today, our PTI Southwest bureau chief. He said that Clemens and Pettitte were disturbed with the way that George Steinbrenner fawned over David Wells and basically said, how come you do it for him and not for us?
So can't you understand that?
I can.
Especially if you're Pettitte.
But I can also understand Yankee fans being upset. We're taking a break. When we come back,
you're a Mets fan. What do you care about Yankee fans?
What would you rather have, the Colts offense or the Patriots defense? And later, just how hard is it to be named Lovey and be a man?
Weren't you a Mets fan, Giants before that? You were never.
Pardon the interruption. Presented by Guinness Draft Stout. Drink responsibly. Brilliant. And in part by PlayStation 2. And Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
To take our first look at this weekend's championship games, we bring in the creature from the film vault, Ron Jaworski. All right, George.
Love that music.
It's 2 days later. Brett Favre still has not addressed the media. You played quarterback. What do you suspect Favre was trying to do with that pass in the OT?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt what he was trying to do was hit Javon Walker. And actually, you know, I was down at the end zone under the goalpost, and right in front of me, that play unfolded. And when you look at the pre-snap look, I think what Brett was seeing was the potential of a blitz. It was a play-action pass. Once he came out of the fake, now, don't forget, his back is now turned to the defense. He can't see what is going on. He felt the quick pressure in his face. He thought he had Javon Walker singled up, but Brian Dawkins did a tremendous job of staying in center field. Brett thought he would have kind of a jump ball, or at the worst, the ball would be incomplete. But Brian Dawkins did a great job of changing up and staying in center field and making the play. But clearly the pressure broke down Brett Favre.
Okay, but if it's not Brett Favre, who's going to the Hall of Fame, who's the best quarterback for years now, if it was another quarterback, would that guy have been crucified in print the next day?
No question about it. It was a very bad decision overtime of a football game. And I always say you must see the throw. When you get in critical situations in a football game, of which the Eagles have been one of the best in the NFL, you must see the throw. He threw the ball up for grabs and paid a steep price.
All right, Jaws, the guy who benefited from that, Donovan McNabb. I know you love the Eagles and McNabb, but would you be shocked if they lost to the Carolina Panthers, a team that we're getting a ton of emails for forgetting about the Panthers in Carolina. They say everybody forgets about the Panthers. Would it be a huge upset?
No, it wouldn't be. I think the Carolina Panthers are a very formidable foe for the Philadelphia Eagles. I just went through that game back in Carolina, but back in Week 13, and Carolina played a tremendous football game. Remember, in that game, John Casey missed 3 field goals and an extra point. And I think clearly the matchups are very, very even in this game. And I think what you'll see, basically what we saw out of the Eagles against Green Bay, was to turn the game over to McNabb in the second half. I don't think Donovan played a particularly good game as far as sustaining offense and making the right reads and going to the single covered receiver. But in the second half, it became a sandlot game, and Donovan was absolutely phenomenal at making plays.
If the Eagles lose this game, it would be the 3rd straight year in the NFC playoffs, in the NFC Championship game, and the 2nd straight at home. Would then the pressure all fall on Andy Reid in the way it fell on Tony Dungy at Tampa Bay?
Well, I think there's always pressure. You know, to get to 3 straight NFC championship games, or even if we're the AFC, is to be commended. I mean, Andy has done a fantastic job with this football team. This team right now is not as good as the team that lined up last year in the NFC championship game. But this team that Philadelphia now has is a very resilient football team. It's a team that plays well together. And you know, could they lose the game? Absolutely, they could lose the game. John Fox has done a heck of a job down in Carolina. But I think, you know, there probably is a little more pressure on this game, but I do believe the Eagles have such tunnel vision right now that they will find a way to win.
Charles, let's go to the AFC for a second. Peyton Manning, it's not a surprise that he's good. He's been good for a long time. But why is he so much better now? What happened with him?
Well, I think, Mike, first of all, when you look at what happened of winning a playoff game, I think the weight of the world was lifted off his shoulders. He looked so much more confident and relaxed against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was with him before that game a couple weeks ago against Denver, and I tell you, he was focused. He knew what he was doing. The game plan, I spoke to him before the game about the game plan and Tom Moore. They really felt they had a good game plan. They went out and executed. So finally, he won a playoff game, and he felt very comfortable and confident. Against Kansas City, it was another clinic, and I always talk about accuracy and putting the ball on a receiver's hands. And you know, watching that game as well as the Denver game, receiver turns around and ball's on their hands. It's not high, it's not low, it's right in their hands. I mean, he is in that zone right now, reading coverage well, you know, processing the information quickly, and the ball coming out on time accurately.
Okay, he's in that zone, but he goes up to New England outdoors to face a great defense. In your mind, will that New England defense stop Peyton Manning enough so that New England can win?
Yeah, I think they will slow him down enough, just enough to win the football game. I think the best defense in football right now is up in New England. Romeo Crennel and Bill Belichick do a great job with the design of that defense. They also have very intelligent football players that understand their role. They do nothing but change up to confuse your blocking schemes, your wide receivers, your running backs, as well as your quarterback. Manning has taken a lot of heat because they say he hasn't played well against those Belichick defenses. It's not all Peyton's fault. Some of that falls upon the offensive line, the wide receivers, and the running backs to not make the mistakes that they've made in the past.
Thank you, Jaws.
Thanks, Jaws.
Great to be with you guys.
Ron Jaworski, boys and girls, out of the vault. We're taking a break. When we come back, which Paul O'Neill is more culturally significant? Paul O'Neill or Paul O'Neill? Never say we duck the tough issues on PTI. You know, I've won toss-up for so long that some of you may wonder if I take it for granted. To which I say, in the words of Big Daddy Kane, anything goes when it comes to hoes, because pimping ain't easy. Are you with me, Wilbot?
What did
Let's
you
get
just
the
say?
first one over the loudspeaker from our producer, Big Daddy Kane.
Toss up. Who needs to get to the Super Bowl more, Donovan McNabb or Peyton Manning?
Donovan McNabb needs it more. Okay, Peyton Manning climbed his mountain already. He was 0-3 in playoff games, and now he's won 2. That's all he needed to do. McNabb has been to this particular mountain twice before and not gotten over it. He's got to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he and Reid really need to win. Manning gets sort of another year of a honeymoon before he has to then, people say, what's next for you? But these things are not mutually exclusive. I have Donovan McNabb and Peyton Manning getting to this year's Super Bowl at the same time.
They don't have to. Neither one has to win it. One is going to win. Neither one has to win. I don't think Manning has to get there. I think McNabb has to get there.
You think he'll get there?
Do I think he'll get there? Yes, I do.
Because
I've liked him more than you. I didn't pick against him last week. What's next?
Toss up, who's your clutch kicker, Vinatieri or Vanderjagt?
There is no question. This is not even close. It's Vinatieri.
You're an idiot.
Vinatieri may have made the greatest kick ever, 48 yards in the snow to tie Oakland. Then he won that game in overtime to get to the AFC Championships.
When was that?
During the Super Bowl year.
What year was that?
I don't know, 3 years
ago. Was it yesterday?
Then he won the Super Bowl.
When was that?
Then this year he just beat Tennessee with a 46-yarder. And by the way, you were there. It was so cold that the ball felt like a box of rocks. He's clutch.
If you stop listening to Big Daddy Kane, okay,
I like Big
old
Daddy
man,
Kane. I knew
maybe
his
you can realize
Sugar Cane.
that the liquored up kicker is 41 for his last 41. 37 in a row this
The question
season.
isn't...
What are you talking? He took a
second.
bad snap last week in Kansas City. He made it anyway.
Who's having a better year. The question is who's the best
I want the guy
kicker.
who's perfect.
Adam
a guy on the
Vinatieri.
set
What's
said yesterday,
next?
things are set in motion, stay in
Next.
motion. Who said that?
I believe I did.
Huh?
Who's the future of the Rams, Mark Bulger or Kurt Warner?
I actually think it's neither, but if I had to choose between these two, I would say it was Bulger. Kurt Warner's 0-7 with the Rams, I believe, in the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
I think he's gone.
Yep.
Now, there's damage here with Bulger because Mike Martz, in effect, said by kicking that field goal, I don't trust my quarterback.
Yep.
But Mike Martz put Bulger in the starting position, and I think they can patch it up.
Yeah, I think Kurt Warner can start for a number of other playoff teams, which would mean he'd have to go elsewhere. I think that, who knows, the Dallas Cowboys, the Miami Dolphins. I think
Washington Redskins.
Yes, teams out there with talent that Kurt Warner can lead right away. I think Bulger is the guy who winds up staying in St. Louis.
Right.
But he and Martz have to have some sort of retreat together this summer and get over what just happened.
Would you like to go to that retreat and hang out with your
No.
boy Mike Martz?
No.
What's next?
Toss up, who's the more culturally significant Paul O'Neill, the former Treasury Secretary or the former Yankee?
It's the Yankee Paul O'Neill. He's got 4 rings with the Yankees. He's got 1 with Cincinnati. His sister, Molly, is the food critic for the New York Times. That's a big job.
What does that matter?
This Paul
His
O'Neill,
sister's
who
job.
has written this book, he's going to find out what happens when you mess with the Bushman.
Yeah, here's what happened so far. He blew the Bushman out of the tub.
Blew him out of the tub.
That's right.
But
he
now,
came out, he stood at the lectern, and he just slapped the president of the United
but
States.
the Republicans
I like that.
are coming
That was
back.
cool.
They have sicked the
Too
FBI
late.
on him.
Too late.
They've
Come
sicked
back
the
now.
FBI
he
on
already
him
scored. The
for
goal
confidential
scored.
papers.
The goal has been scored.
No,
you
no,
can't
it's the
wave
Yankee
it off.
guy. It's the Yankee guy. What's next?
His sister.
Last one, toss up, tougher name, Lovey or Romeo?
These are terrible names for boys. Lovey is such a bad name for a boy. It's a girl's name. If there's any girl actually named Lovey, because it sounds like a cat's name.
Who do you think was married to Thurston Howell III?
Was that Lovey Howell?
Lovey Howell.
It sounds like a cat's name. Now, Romeo is a bad name for a guy, too, and I'm going to tell you why. Creates too much performance anxiety
Where
with
would
the ladies.
Shakespeare had been without Romeo?
Well, if you're in Verona right now, Verona, Italy, and you want to name your boy Romeo,
He's in
that's
Verona,
what,
Massachusetts.
There's no Verona,
How do you know?
Massachusetts. There's a Verona, New Jersey. There's not a
I knew
Verona,
you'd know that.
Massachusetts. Would you name your kid either Lovey
Romeo.
or Romeo?
Little Romeo.
Would
I like
not.
that.
You
Yeah.
can keep yapping, Will.
Big Daddy Kane
It's
had a
too
rap
late.
about Romeo.
I win.
You didn't know that, did you?
I know all his music. Time for a break, but don't go anywhere because we still got to talk about Michael Jordan, Greg Maddux, and the dropping poll numbers for Pete Rose.
Could you look more spastic than you look now? Could you possibly? The answer, no. God.
Pardon the interruption. Presented by Guinness Draft Stout. Drink responsibly. Brilliant. And in part by Time Warner Cable.
Happy time, people. Happy 73rd birthday to Charles Nelson Riley. You remember him from the Match Game, don't you, kids? Oops, that went off the air before you guys were born. Well, how about this? He plays the voice of the Dirty Bubble on SpongeBob SquarePants, whatever that is.
He's as talentless as Britney Spears. He and Kay Ballard and Orson Bean and all these. What did they do?
Happy anniversary, Michael Jordan. On this day 5 years ago, you announced your second retirement from the NBA. That was the second of now 3 retirements, still 5 short of Sugar Ray Leonard's record. Jordan came out of this one to play for the Washington Wizards. Now he's gone, and so is his restaurant in D.C.
Mad cow disease, I heard.
Happy trails, Greg Robinson. The Chiefs' defensive coordinator resigned today. Robinson took a bullet for his friend and patron, Dick Vermeil, so Vermeil would not be forced to choose between firing him and coaching the Chiefs. Vermeil, 100% class, said, quote, there are very few men in this room who have the balls to do what he did, unquote, and then Vermeil cried.
He always cries. It's not notable.
It's great.
He always
it makes
cries.
him a man, I think.
Really?
Trying to find out we messed up stat boy.
No mad cow disease at Jordan's. Mike, you have something you want to say to Michael?
No mad cow disease.
That's absolutely right.
That was funny.
Carolina's front four, Mike Rucker, Chris Jenkins, Brenson Buckner, Julius Peppers. Dr. Pepper off the bench, as you said, Tony. No outright conference championship for New-Hazel in college. High school, though, Rainier Beach, Mountain Division champs this year.
That's a good resume.
Big time. Let's go to the big finish. Here we go. Gallup says public support for reinstating Pete Rose has dropped from 70% to below 50%. What should Rose do?
I don't know what he should do, but people are not going to vote for him. He's not getting in. You're going to be wrong. Michelle Wee is playing a practice line with Ernie Els. Excited to see her play against the men later this week.
She's a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, is she?
Beats the PGA Pro. He's got to hang it up.
What's ready to do?
Christian
14?
Leitner was suspended for 5 games for violating the league's anti-drug program. Are you surprised?
No, not particularly. The Mets are interested in Greg Maddux. Would that be a good move?
Really worked out for them and Tom Glavine. Didn't it? Really
exactly.
worked out. Yao Ming closing in on Shaq to start the All-Star game. Your thoughts?
Shaq said when the All-Star voting opened up in China, he was toast. He appears to be right.
We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow.
Shaq must be angry at that, though.
No, Shaq never gets angry. Except PTI.